Right, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Quite new to live streaming. Let's have a look. Is this working? Is it on? Am I here? Right, let's have a look. Let's have a see. Right. Still new to this. Very new to this. Hey, Danny. Hello there. Hello. This is... Right, let's have a look. Is this working? Carly. Oh yeah, and the Ace has made it as well. And Intergalactic Cosmo, Carly, Family Lamborghini. Hello there. Hello and welcome to Dr. Danny's drop-in clinic. Sup Doc. Hello there. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Danny. I work for Backstreet Medical Services. We do a bespoke medical services. I've recently uploaded some videos. I think they're on this channel here. You can check them out. We've covered the importance of last aid. We've also covered upper neurological limb examinations. I got my medical degree and all my credentials through the online course in Backstreet Medical Services, which I myself designed. So that's how qualified I am. I designed my own medical course, having no prior medical training. Because I'm so good at designing courses, I designed the course, and I gave myself the degree, and that's why I'm talking to you down. I'm Dr. Danny PhD, B.M.S. That's where I am, and I thought we'd make this little thing here today, so I can help you guys with any medical problems you may have, or any medical scenarios that you wanna bring to a medical professional such as myself, and we'll talk it out. I'll show you the best thing to do. Diagnose you, and I can't prescribe you because that's illegal, but I'll do it anyway. You know, one of the big things I'm against is elitism in the medical industry, so I'm against that. Before I start, oh hello there, Dead Dog. How is this stream? How does it look? Can you hear me? Can you see me? What are your thoughts, feelings, and emotions on that front? All the same. Let's have a look. Yes, we can hear you and see you. Fantastic. Everything is good. Yes, yes, yes. All good. Yes, all good, Chief. Yes, fine. Good. That sounds promising. It sounds like it's good. So does anyone want to hit me with a medical scenario? Any form of medical scenario, or maybe a medical question, and we can talk through it in the sort of the Socratic method. We can brainstorm through it, and we can really solve some strong medical issues today. Doctor, I have this minor headache. What should I do? Well, thank you very much for your first question of the evening, Intergalactic Cosmo. Now, headaches are caused by a lot of things. A lot of things goes into causing a headache, so it's not good to really focus on one thing and think it's this thing. But the way you get rid of all headaches, I suppose, is the act of trepanning. Trepanning is the act of drilling a hole in your head. They used to do it in the medieval times to let the spirits out, and we've stopped doing it since, and I think that's a shame. I think that's a good shame, because trepanning, there's a lot of merit in it. And there's no other way to let the spirits out that are trapped in your head. So I'd say trepan your head, let the spirits out, and your headache should stop. Thank you for the question, Intergalactic Cosmo. Golka, my leg hasn't stopped bleeding for 3 months. That's a very impressive problem you have there. Usually you bleed out within the first couple of hours, so I would say that's a small amount of blood. I would usually suggest a plaster, but recently we've had some troubles with plasters. They've not really been doing what they're supposed to do. I've put a couple of plasters on people. Admittedly, the plasters are a few years old, and they just kept falling off. So in my practice, at least, it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot more cost-effective to just resort to using duct tape. Any duct tape, or if you don't have duct tape, masking tape works as well. Just really tape it up. Just really tape it up. That's all I can suggest there. I hope that's helped. Thank you for your question, Golka. It's Austin C. I think my ankle might be broken. There's a really simple thing you can do with a broken ankle, and that is just put as much pressure on it as you possibly can. If you put as much pressure on the ankle as you possibly can, then it will snap itself back into place. I have no brain, any cure or ideas. You can buy a brain quite cheaply on the black market at the minute. Dead Dog. I think a brain's looking between the Chinese black market. I mean, you get the good stuff there, and you're looking at thousands. The UK black market, you can get a brain for about 200, 300. Sure, yeah, it might not be a human brain, but it's a brain nonetheless, and it'll fit in there. And if you get the right person to wire you up, you'll really never tell the difference. Is this a strictly apple-free zone? Well, I said they did say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, which is very true. Doctors, I know, are terrified of apples. If you show an apple to myself or any other doctor, we recoil in horror. We start screaming and crying profusely. It's actually quite worrying. So in that manner, I would prefer it if you didn't show me an apple. I would prefer it if you didn't show me an apple. It would just make me upset, and I don't think anyone wants to see my reaction to that. I have a medical question, Doc. Why the F my pee-pee hard? That is a medical question I can't answer, Ace. I can't answer that at all. Jonathan Rowland, I'm a blind child with no legs. What should I do? There's a local school called, I think it's Mr. Docile's or something like that. School for blind children with no legs. I'd consider seeking out further education there. The red market. That's the Russian market, Morikashi. That's the black market that Russians use. We have the tea market here, which is just the TEA, the tea market. That's our medical black market. I applied as much pressure to my ankle and I could now, and it's definitely broken. Fantastic. Keep doing that. Keep doing it until until you destroy it, and then it will fix itself. That's what I was telling you. They usually use, when it comes to stuff like that, the other people, they use the acronym RICE, which is rest. So you rest the limb. I is ice, so you put ice on it. C is compress, so you can't move it. And E is elevate. But we don't do that in Backstreet Medical Services. We just say walk on it and stop being a pussy. Due to Brexit, pharmacies are out of my life-saving insulin. You can use a lot of things as an insulin substitute. I recommend vegetable oil. I'm Adam. Adam, I can see you putting apples in the chat. I can see you putting apples in the chat, mate. We've talked about this. Okay, guys, we've talked about this. No apples in the chat. Okay, no apples in the chat. Right, we don't want that. Carbo says, how can I get taller? In Backstreet Medical Services, we offer a wide range of leg lengthening enhancements. Now, these can be anything from bits of wood that you staple to the bottom of your feet. That's quite a popular one, and that works really well. Anything to do with the old leg stretch, where we tie you to the back of a car, and sort of one of us holds your legs and the other person accelerates in it. You get a good 3 or 4 feet sort of out of that, so you'll be a good 3 or 4 feet taller, the only downside being that you aren't alive by the end of it. Doctor, my friend got paper cut on their finger. Should I amputate? When in doubt, always amputate. Okay? Always amputate. There should never be a situation where afterwards should have amputated. When in doubt, amputate straight away. Okay? What's the cure for cancer? That's still up for debate, even in Backstreet Medical Services. We don't know the cure for cancer. We don't have any idea what the cure for cancer is, I'm afraid. I couldn't help you on that front. What do you do if you've got depression? Depression's an odd one, Caroline. Depression's an odd one. Say that the Backstreet Medical Services, we offer a wide range of depression curing activities. The last sort of course we ran, it was a couple of years ago now, we gave people a load of live firearms and we dropped them in the middle of Hanoi in Vietnam, and they just sort of stuck out, and they said they felt really better afterwards. They were slightly different people, but it said it really helped out. I heard pee is a great growth stimulant. That's not advised by us, but by all means, that's what you want to do. That's a pear, actually. That's fine. The Infinity Stone of Tool, that could work. How about an orange? Orange is absolutely fine. There's no such phrase as an orange a day keeps the doctor away. I'm completely fine with that. My pee is always purple. What should I do? Pee being purple is back in the 80s. Purple pee used to be a sign. Well, they thought the medical profession used to be a sign of homosexuality and sort of what they were considered sin back then, but obviously it's very different now. Those two things aren't relatable. Purple pee nowadays usually just relates to someone who's thinking horrible things all the time, hasn't forgiven themselves or something. Doctor, I feel like killing myself. What do you think would be the best method to do so? Even here in Backstreet Medical Services, we don't advise suicide. Suicide is never an option, and it should not be taken. Just by any means. I'm afraid I cannot advise on that. Dead Dog, my phone has died. How do I fix? Charge it. Davin the Viper, is living curable? I guess my answer to the other question would be then on that again. Backstreet Medical Services, we would never advise. Suicide or condone to it. I've been trying to grow a melon in my stomach for months. Any tips? See, a lot of people, someone came into my clinic the other day actually about this. They said, Dr. Danny, I've been trying to grow melon in my stomach. And they kept eating the seeds. They kept eating the seeds over and over and over again. They've eaten so many seeds. They ate thousands of seeds. And I said to them, have you eaten any soil first? They said no. Well, I said, you're an idiot, because, well, it's just, the stomach acid is just going to eat the seeds, isn't it? So I told them, well, then I put a funnel, and I just shoveled soil down their throat for 2 hours, and then we planted the seeds, and then it's got a better chance of growing then, I think, otherwise you can't just expect it to grow out of stomach acid. It's barbaric. What do you think caused the Spanish flu? There's a lot of things that come into sort of the Spanish flu. So I'm checking my stream health. Apparently my thing's saying the stream health looks rubbish, but I think it looks okay. What do you think caused the Spanish flu? It's Spaniards. It's people from Spain, the Spanish. A test was done by one of our Backstreet Medical Services researchers a couple of weeks ago. And he came back, he started screaming in the office about how all Spanish people are dirty. And don't get me wrong, I don't agree with that. I'm not horrible. I think he was a bit racist. But unfortunately he was our researcher, so we had to write that up and put it in our document. So that is official legislation we have to use, I'm afraid. Doctor, how should one prepare for their course in the B.M.S PhD? Well, Famila Lamborghini, it's quite simple. If you go to dannydossal.com/free PhD, one big word, that's all you need to do. You can print that off and you can hang it on your wall. You get a free PhD. That's all you have to do. That's your injury. That gives you a practice bias to practice medicine. I think I'm fighting the elitism that's so prevalent in medicine. Okay, today, guys. Okay, I think you shouldn't have to study for 7 years. I think if you want to just practice medicine, do it. Do it. Sure, some people might get hurt, but people get hurt all the time. What do you do when you get shot in Vietnam because you've got depression? Self-amputation. As I said before, Carol, you might not have been there. Always amputate, okay? Always amputate. When in doubt, amputate. If you're in Hanoi, depressed with a gun, and someone shoots you, amputate. Okay, remember that. Always amputate. Okay, Caroline? Thanks for your question. Can you give me advice how to safely amputate my own head? There is no safe way to amputate your own head, really. If you're looking for the cleanest way, I could probably give you advice there. But safely, I guess there's no way you could do that and it be deemed safe. Can you use that stethoscope? This? Yes. My girlfriend has a bad invisibility pill addiction. What can I do to help her? I'm presuming you're using invisibility pill to be the street slang. The street slang of invisibility pill, which is of course MDMA. And I would say take her to one of our addiction clinics, okay? Take her to one of our Backstreet Medical Services addiction clinics, where essentially a crack team of therapists lock her in a room and don't let her out for 3 months. What do I do if I have the bubonic plague? Online, again in Backstreet Medical Services /BMS. I'm not sure our store is live yet, but we offer cures for bubonic plague, just in pills. Take them every single day. Hope for the best. Dr. Danny, what's the solution to losing your sense of dance? I think, this has been covered in, our second revision of our first aid book, but it's watch Footloose on loop for a week. Which one of your toes is your favourite one? Personally, I find my big left toe. Are you the person that sent me the Snapchat saying the exact same thing? If you are, the Snapchat video has not been released, just because I had some problems with the edit, and I need to wait to get my UPC to actually get the footage back. So you get the answer to that question there. And if you're not, that's an oddly specific question. What is more harmful, tobacco or weed? We find that the CO2 that's in the air, especially in polluted cities, is more harmful than both. So Backstreet Medical Services do suggest weed or tobacco doesn't matter either way, but put like a nebulizer full of it, a tank of that, and it'll be safer than breathing out the air outside. What animal DNA should I splice with my own to regrow an amputated arm? A crab. It's quite a simple question actually. It's a crab. It's a crab. Crabs regrow arms. If you did it with some form of like seahorse or a bee, they don't have arms. They don't have the ability to regrow that, so that wouldn't happen. You would just turn into a seahorse or a bee. My girlfriend smokes after sex. Should we use lubricant? Backstreet Medical Services, as you guys may know, if you follow the Backstreet Medical Services sex blog that we have, never use lubricant. Never, ever, 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 ever use lubricant, okay? For a couple of reasons. One, you'll upset God. And the second reason is it's just not... It takes a lot of the... If you can't produce natural lubricant, you shouldn't be having sex. Okay, that's the Backstreet Medical Services It's in our 3rd edition of our first aid guide. That. What to do against ASMR addiction? It's a tough one. There's not really any surefire way to cure it at the minute. We just suggest watching more until you're slow and eventual crawl towards death. What do I need to do if I'm addicted to the alcohol? As with all of our addictive substances, yes, you can visit one of our Backstreet Medical Services qualified addiction areas. And those are great. Those are really good. We lock you in a room for 3 months and leave you alone. And if you're alive by the end of it, you'll never do it again. But with addiction, I suppose a more forward attempt would be just to keep drinking until you can't drink anymore. Okay. I have coughed up a lung. Does it just pop back in? No, Rapstate, your lung does not just pop back in. You need a minor keyhole surgery. What we do is we just cut a little thing and we shove the thing in just all through that tiny hole, and then because the lung, it just expands out inside. Okay. I want to get pregnant, but I have no uterus. Any natural substitutes? A Tesco carrier bag. We've got a lot. There's a lot. It doesn't have to be Tesco. It can be other brands are available. It can be any sort of carrier bag. If you fill that with just sort of like wax, and then sort of stuff like the chicken eggs and stuff like that, sort of that. Just fill it with wax and chicken eggs, and then get the male, well, not necessarily the male, the sperm to do its thing in there, and a baby should grow. My friend is in a taco and has problems getting on with a real woman since he prefers anime pillows. What should I do to help him, Dr. Danny? As you see, we offer this service here as very well. I have this here, which is not a body pillow, that's a sloth. There's a sloth that someone I believe called Northern Whispers ASMR, I believe is his name. I might have got that wrong. He got that for me once when I met him in Bristol. But I used to have a horrendous, just in this room alone, 400,000 body pillows. And I've recently got rid of a lot of them. Okay? And it was all due to thanks of just buying smaller sloth-related body pillows. Right. I've had to amputate both legs and my left arm, but my depression is cured. Thank you, doctor. Thank you very much, Caroline. Okay, thank you very much. I'm really happy to help. I'm really glad to help. That's why I'm here. Okay, that's why Backstreet Medical Services are here. We're here to help you. Okay, guys, we're here to help you. Doctor, what do you do if a previous patient tries to sue you? As with all the Backstreet Medical Services clause and our legal stuff, we merely say the handy Backstreet Medical Services motto, what is Backstreet Medical Services? I've never heard of Backstreet Medical Services. Am I being detained? Okay, that's what you say. You always say that. And then it kind of, they'll go away. Okay. Danny, I have prosthetic legs but real feet. Is that normal? By Robbie Stewart. Thank you for your comment there, Robbie. That's something that we've been practicing. You might have come to one of our amputation clinics the other day, because we've been trying that. We've been chopping the shins off of people and then gluing the real feet back on just to see if it'll work. So far it hasn't worked, so you might find your feet go gangrenous and fall off quite soon, okay? But just put them in the bin. Is it true heavy lifting cures back pains? We kind of go for the sideways jolt, because we find a back pain is localized in a specific muscle in the back. So if you jolt really hard the other way, it'll balance out the aura of the pain. Okay? My autistic child has measles and thoughts and prayers are not working. Which essential oils should I use? Backstreet Medical Services don't advise using essential oils. We have a range of inessential oils or unessential oils. So that's oil of dust. Right? It's oil of dust. It's oil of sunlight. It's oil of sadness. We have a big range, and for something like that, I'd actually probably suggest oil of sound. Okay. Dr. Danny, what is your patient mortality rate? Confidential. My lawyer advised me a couple of weeks ago that I should stop talking about that, just to stop myself opening up to what he referred to as many lawsuits. What is the best place to inject a needle? A needle is really thin. So, because of how thin a needle is, it's actually really hard to inject in a needle. So if I were you, I'd advise injecting someone else with the needle. Is it normal to have 3 penis? I'm a woman. The weird part there, I suppose, about was having 3 of them. But if they're all localized in the same place, I can't see that being too much of a problem. Can you cure cancer? I'm afraid not even Backstreet Medical Services have yet figured out the cure for cancer. I do apologise. Danny, I just can't find any good merch from YouTubers to where do you know where I can get some cool merch? Plug merch, Danny. Well, thank you very much for that, Dead Dog. That just happens to lead me on to my next point. If you go into bear with awkward transition. And then I said, that's not my wife, that's my girlfriend. The link isn't loading. How am I supposed? Bear with. Copy. Guys, if you go into the description, at the very bottom of the description, I think there's a link there. Well, it just happened if you click on that, there's some cool merch from this channel, and there will be some Backstreet Medical Services merch coming out there very soon. We've got a black shirt with the Backstreet Medical Services logo and a doctor badge on the back, which will be coming out at some point. But thank you very much, Dead Dog, for that. Horseshoe crab's blood is blue. Can I inject myself with the blue blood to get superpowers? Of course you can. That's exactly how that works. I would suggest injecting in the leg, though. You don't want to be silly with it. Surely there can be a lot of difference between prescription pills and the pills I order from a Chinese website, right? Not at all. In fact, I'd always advise going for the Chinese pills, because they're cheaper, and they're probably the same thing. Okay. Are you able to transplant an extra leg next to the other ones in case the other ones get damaged? Of course, as I said, the Backstreet Medical Services amputation clinics, they do a lot of fantastic work 24/7. Essentially, if you rock up and say, hey, I want an arm on my head, I want another leg, how about 4 lungs? They'll do it for you. Okay, they're a really great team. I hired them myself. They're a crack team. They do have drug problems, but they're really nice people. Okay, they're really nice people. What's the best aroma to apply to an open wound to attract a mate? Leave the open wound open. Often find mates are attracted a sort of sympathetic air. Okay, so if the mates see, oh, this person needs hurt, they'll go there, and what's the hurt? Hey, do you want a drink? No, I'm bleeding out. You're bleeding out. You're bleeding out. I go, no, just go for a drink. No, you're going to die. Goes from there. Tell the grandkids. Goodbye, and thank you, doctor. I've amputated my wife and son's head. No problem at all, Theo. Make sure to drop into the amputation clinic if you want them put on somewhere else. The Ace, where's the Kimi Räikkönen content? I'm afraid there is no Kimi Räikkönen content today. This is a drop-in medical clinic. Hannah ASMR, how do I fall asleep instantly and never wake up again? Please help. As I've covered before on this, you might not have been here, the Backstreet Medical Services do not condone, or I'm afraid are able to advise in any form of content that may lead to someone inadvertently hurting themselves forever. But I guess to take that into a more literal sense, how do you fall asleep instantly? I can do the first bit. The Backstreet Medical Services often a fantastic range of chloroform. We have a wonderful range of chloroform on our website. We do say that we shouldn't use it on other people. So you have to make a pinky promise to us that you won't chloroform other people, just yourself. But that is how we do that there. Is it advisable to drink as many 24-hour energies as possible to live forever? Yes, it is. Eduardo, yesterday I've defecated 5 times. Is this normal? I had a big bowl of cheese fondue just before it happens. That is normal. That is absolutely normal. Cheese fondue, it's an anti-constipant. So any form of cheese fondue, you'll just open up like a valve, and you'll cover everything behind you. Should I really listen to my pills back label? Not at all. Pills back labels are just there because they have to be. Okay? Medically, they have to be there. But actually, realistically, if it's paracetamol, it's probably paracetamol. Just go for it. I can't get it up. What endangered animal do you recommend for grinding into dong pills? A lot of people foolishly suggest a rhino horn. That's absolute nonsense. We suggest chimpanzees, the entire chimpanzee. If you grind up the entire chimpanzee, just put it through, and then just swallow it whole, you'll be fine. Oh, there we are. I think, there we are. John, if you show the link there, the secretary said hi, doctor, the secretary said all merch could be found out. Thank you for passing the message from the secretary there, Jonathan. I really appreciate that. Yeah, the link that's put there, that is some merch. That's some merch we have there. If you want to check that out, can you give me a price range on the chloroform? The chloroform, yeah, it's top Chinese grade chloroform. But because it is Chinese grade, it's about £3 to £4 a litre. We are assured it's chloroform, but none of us have checked it ourselves. I saw a small spider crawl out of my ears. I think I got eggs in my ears. What should I do? In the future, try to wear earplugs. And wear earplugs for a while, because you'll starve them oxygen and they'll die in there. Can I please refrain from appling the stream? We will send the Backstreet Medical Security Team. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I appreciate that. As I said, an apple a day does keep the doctor away. If I see apples at any point, I've been crying and screaming and just throwing things everywhere. I was crying and it's ugly. So please refrain from posting apples in the chat. It really is my only true fear. Do a majority of your clients come from Newcastle? Ruffers badges there. Some clients come from Newcastle. Absolutely, we get some work from Newcastle. We're really, we're a huge UK-based company. Okay, we're a huge UK-based company. So we get clients from all sorts, whether it be whatever somewhere, or the majority of stab wounds that we get from Newcastle. Let's see. Is the Backstreet headquarters based in Cardiff? The Backstreet Medical Services headquarters is based in Cardiff. I said we're a UK-based company. What is your advice for treating patients who do not consent or even want treatment at all? Consent, or the C word, as we call it here in Backstreet Medical Services, in terms of medical work at least, is a myth. I think if you should be able to help someone even if they don't want or need your help. And if they complain afterwards, they complain afterwards, but they'll do so with a bandage around their head. Charlotte says, do you? Yes. Danny, very happy to catch you. Your zombie video is my go-to sleep-inducing drug. You may want to put an addictive... Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate your kind words. Can I trust my doctor who says that I need to hunt and eat wild bear to fix my heart? You could do that. You absolutely could. But you can buy a wild bear heart on the market for not much at all, and it's probably cheaper to do it that way. Okay, it's probably cheaper to do it that way than hunt it yourself. So I would advise doing that just to lower down the safety. My friend didn't get a medical. Can I gift him a medical degree? Gorka, of course you can gift him a medical degree. Go to dannydossar.com/free PhD, FREE PhD, and then you can print out, all of you can do this, you can print out your own medical, like Backstreet Medical Services doctorate I've got there. This isn't a joke, by the way. You can go to that website and print out the medical certificate, dannydossar.com/free PhD. Please download it, print it out, hang it on your wall. Should I listen to the voices who tell me not to take my anti-schizophrenia medicine? Absolutely. We often find in Backstreet Medical Services, our psychiatric team, they work very hard all the time, and they're so expert in psychiatrics because all of them are diagnosed schizophrenics who refuse to take their medication. So, you know, they've got you don't get much better knowledge than that, you know what I mean? And they advise that you should never listen to the voice. You should always listen to the voice in your head and do exactly what they tell you to do. If during a procedure anaesthetic is not available, is a blunt object acceptable? We prefer a sharp object, but a blunt object will do. Is it true that tonsils are the most important part of the human body? That's absolutely true. We've always said it right from the very start, that tonsils are the most important part of the human body. You can get rid of anything, and you'll be fine. If you get rid of the tonsils, that's game over. Okay, that's lights out. If you take anything away from this stream, if you take anything away whatsoever, okay, tonsils are very important. I cannot stress that enough. If you've had your tonsils removed as a child or a young adult of sorts, you're a husk of a person. You're soulless. You're nothing. You're nothing but vapor. Okay, remember that if you take nothing, that is very important. Okay, very important indeed. The ACE consent is a myth, Dr. Danny 2019. I believe I was very clear when I said, in medical terms, consent is a myth. I get sued for a lot of things, but that isn't one of them. The real Ryback. My missus is a Russian. What's the cure to getting her to slow down? It's a good word play there. We often find that if people are rushing around, especially manic episodes, when we deal with people in terms of mania, we tie them to the floor for a couple of weeks. Does anyone in the Backstreet amputation clinic partake in cannibalism? And if so, do they suggest any recipes? That's a very good question. None of us personally partake in cannibalism, just because we have a really good cafeteria, and if we did that, we'd be too full to have the excellent jacket and beans and cheese they provide. But you can't go wrong with salt and pepper and a lean cut. Tonsils are hurting. Should I be worried? I went to a surgeon who told me the tonsils were the most important organ responsible for tonsilling, so I'm a little worried. You should be worried. Tonsils are indeed the most important organ in the whole ecosystem of the body. I'd get that checked out ASAP. And if a doctor does advise that you need to get them removed, I'd say attack him with everything that you have. Would you say there are any medical advantages to wearing a 2004 David Beckham haircut? It's Herman Manley. Of course. It's the ultimate act of sex appeal. There's nothing sexier than a 2004 David Beckham haircut, and it will elevate your estrogen and your testosterone levels to that of a god or some form of demi-lord. Has Backstreet Medical Services any connection with the Backstreet Boys? We don't, I'm afraid. In about 2004, we when they was more at the height, we opened up a partnership with them. We sent them an email asking if they wanted to collaborate on a line of T-shirts, but they said no. Please don't contact us ever again. Are you working on any cures right now? As we say, we are the Backstreet Medical Services, working on a whole array of cures. At the minute, we're trying to cure having a hurt leg. It sounds vague, but a lot of people complain of us having a hurt leg, so that's kind of the cure we're going on now, so no one ever has a hurt leg again. I'm getting into poison immunity. Any recommendations on a poison to start building my resistance? An excellent question, Garko, an absolutely excellent question. We would suggest to start building your resistance, you start tough and you go down, if that makes sense. You start tough and you go down. So I would start with something like asbestos. What's the recommendation procedure to put someone's heart back in their head? Great question, Austin. Brute force. 1 second. I hope you guys' rooms don't all light up because of this, but my thing is just auto-corrected. I need to correct it here. Alexa, daytime. Thank you. My lighting automatically switches at 10 o'clock to go into my nighttime mode. Can you get tonsils put back in, or maybe some artificial replacement? We do offer a series of artificial tonsils, but they aren't as good as the real thing, okay? They aren't as good as the real thing. Okay, so ideally they should never leave. But if they have left, I say you are but a husk. If anything, you're just grasping at straws at that point. I feel you're missing out on a menu item for the cafeteria. Well, the cafeteria is fantastic. It serves jacket potato, beans and cheese. That's all it serves. It's all it's ever served. We don't need anything else. That's what we survive on. Are fruits and vegetables really healthy? They're no more healthy than anything else. At the end of the day, everything is based on carbon. Everything is a carbon-based life form, be it vegetables or whatever. Is it crisps? Is it broccoli? They're both carbon. So at the end of the day, they're exactly the same. Can you change skin colour? We have a series of intense tans that you can use to do it, although we don't usually offer that. He says asking for a friend, but I can't... can you get... Oh, there you are. Are you guys hiring? At the minute, due to an unfortunate judicial mishap, the person in charge of HR for the Backstreet Medical Services is in a prison in Thailand until 2034. So we can't legally hire anyone until Tony gets out of prison. That is saying 2034. But I say if you hit me with a good enough pitch, we can maybe talk. Smeg, discuss. I'm not sure what there is to discuss about that. What should I do if I get stung by a scorpion? The most important thing to do is kill the scorpion instantly and without fear, because if the scorpion's dead, the poison won't be able to travel. Should I get a flu shot? Should I get a flu shot that my school doctor gives me? Absolutely, but be sure that they shoot themselves with it first, just so you know it's real. What does the appendix actually do? That's a great question, Nathaniel. We get that question a lot. It does what we call, it appendicizes your body. And you can tell, if someone walks by, you can tell if they're appendicized or they're de-appendicized. It just gives them that edge, really. Is Alexa the receptionist? No, Alexa is just a robot. It's an Alexa. I have that. And I've said her name down. Stop. Yeah. Just helps me out with some tracking stuff. From my experience, all it does is get close to... do you guys offer nutritional consultation? We can do. We have some personal trainers that are aligned with us in the Backstreet Medical Services. But they are fantastic. They're really, really good. But as I said, the nutritional consultation is just carbon-based things. Can you recommend the best way to get a third arm? Grave robbing? You can buy one from our online store. We'd suggest buying one there, and we have a wide and healthy supply of arms and legs and all sorts of limbs. I say if you take it down to the Backstreet Medical Services clinical amputation area, we'll stick it on you for a small fee. Do I really need my liver? No, all you need is your tonsils. Danny, are you the wizard at the back of the china shop? I'm afraid I don't understand that reference. I'm only 20. How do we get completely grey hair? There's lots of ways. Bleach is a good one. Bleach is a way to do it. Or failing that, just put yourself in really stressful situations all the time, and you'll be grey before you're 25. You've got a lovely beard. In relation to this, can you advise how to get my lungs to stop bleeding? Thank you, The Real Roback. I appreciate your compliment. Tissue paper. If you shove tissue paper far enough up your nose, it will clog the wound, and your lungs, they might not stop bleeding, but you'll stop noticing them. I'm just going to take a quick pause here to say, if you've got some fantastic medical advice from this stream, please consider liking this and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and check out the link in the description there for some merch and the Patreon. Thank you very much. I need to switch over to the Danny Dossal Backstreet Clinic, because over at Jimmy Jossell's Frau Street Clinic, the doctor gave me a shot and didn't even stitch up the bullet hole. But I'm really sorry about that. Me, as you guys well know, been following this for a while, me and Jimmy Jossell, we go way back. Jimmy Jossell's a fraud. He doesn't even have a Backstreet Medical Services free PhD, and all he does is shoot people in my leg. I'm beginning to think he doesn't have any interest in medical services, so I'd stay away from him in future. Why isn't there a vitamin Z, X, and Y? That's a great question, Intergalactic Cosmo. Thank you very much for putting that. Any vitamin could be vitamin Z, X, and Y, depending on where you take it from. That's a Backstreet Medical Services fact. Do you do plastic surgery? I'd like some pointy ears, for instance. We absolutely do plastic surgery. It's more wax surgery at the minute, because we haven't really mastered plastic. You can mould wax a bit easier, but it works really well unless you go into the sun or are exposed to elements for more than half an hour. But pointy ears are definitely doable. Wizard in the China shop. Was your Backstreet wizard with the matty and looked like drug? Ah, I see. As I say, it's been a very long time since I've looked or done those videos. So I'm afraid my knowledge of Danny Dossal videos is somewhat embarrassingly lacking. Plug the Discord too. Well, if you say so. If you guys are having fun here and want to have more fun, we do have a Discord server called the Backstreet Surgery. Will it let me put it in the chat? It doesn't. Well, let me put it in the chat. Discord is a free online chat service that we have our own Backstreet Surgery there. If you join there, join the community, I'd love to have you there. Where should I do an organ transplantation? I would advise doing an organ transplantation inside your body. How do I cure acne? We have a lot of ways to cure acne. A lot of ways. It's something that people come to us a lot with. We used to, back in the days, when Backstreet Medical Services first started, a long time ago, by a different name, they had to legally change. They used to just say, put a bag over your head, but we don't agree with that anymore. We don't agree with that at all. We think there should not be a cure to acne, and that should be the medical norm. And the straight skins, as we call it, they should be persecuted. What do I do if some ass crack disliked this stream? We've got some crack team Backstreet Medical Service security agents out there who will probably be finding their address now and heading over there for some proactive discipline. I have a very serious addiction to making Kimi Räikkönen references. Can you help me? I'm afraid, as I said, we've got the Backstreet Medical Services addiction clinic where we put you in a room for 3 months and leave you there without any food or water. But if that isn't enough, you can go to our extreme one where we tie you to a chair and a man shouts Russian in your face. That sometimes helps. Dr. Danny treated my Parkinson's disease and now I can type well. Thank you, Joel. I'm really glad for doing that. As you see from the way that was typed, it only comes in halfway through sentences. So we've managed to get his Parkinson's to less than 50% at the end of the sentence, which is a really good work for us. I've got to sleep now, but the dog in my ear won't let me. Please advise, it has been 6 weeks. As I said, a lot of dogs are more resilient than people think. Let's say we have, in the Backstreet Medical Services, we have hundreds and hundreds of medical testing dogs in our garage. And if you donate, I say, in the link down below, we might be able to feed them this month, which is fantastic. But when it comes to the thing of dogs, we've got the chloroform on the website. I would advise using it on both yourself and the dog. Are transplants bring your own organs, or do you already have them? We do have a stock of transplants. We would advise you bring your own if you can. But we do have a stock for an extra small fee. My eyes are constantly bleeding. What do I do? We have spare eyes as well. We have spare eyes. We wouldn't advise giving you spare eyes because sometimes the eyes are sort of different colours and it looks strange. But if your eyes are bleeding, we just recommend sunglasses. We've got these special no bleeding sunglasses, which are just ordinary sunglasses. We've got sponges there, so you can't really see out of them, but it does stop the bleeding. Do you also provide veterinary services? It's a tough one. It's a tough one with the veterinary services, because so with Backstreet Medical Services, we are medically trained to that degree. We find when we deal with veterans and people who've been in the military, sometimes they just get a bit aggy, so we've decided not to. Is your clinic licensed to give prescription drugs, or do you guys give out the drugs and not the prescriptions? We have our own Backstreet Medical Services, Backstreet Medical Services prescription service. So we have licensed ourselves to do with that. How long was the longest coma case you've ever come across, Doctor? At this point, it's edging on about between 300 and 400 years. Dead Dog, I keep getting what I was going to ask. I keep forgetting what I was going to ask. Wait, what was I talking about? Thanks, Doug. Do you have discounts for Star Wars veterans? As I say, Backstreet Medical Services hasn't, and we're against. I think I didn't make it clear enough before. We are against veterans. And if someone says they've served in the military, we'll do their procedures wrong. That's not mine. I didn't do that. But it's a time-honoured Backstreet Medical Services tradition, which I personally disagree with. A security team have been dispatched, Doctor. They've taken photos of David Bowie dressed as an armchair. We found it as medical precaution. Fantastic. Is there a cure for javelin in the brain? As I said, I've made this very clear before, guys. Amputation. You should always amputate. Any doubt, amputate. Say it after me. Any doubt, amputate. Any doubt, amputate. If you think, should I yes. Thank you. I have absolutely nothing wrong with me. What should I do? Look harder, because you probably do. I can never sleep due to the crippling weight of my past decisions and regret. Can I please just get one illegal drug? Here in Backstreet Medical Services, Ace, none of our drugs are illegal. All of our drugs are legal because we prescribe them to you. My roommate thinks that I have schizophrenia, but joke's on him. I don't have a roommate. That's fantastic. You might be well suited in our Backstreet Medical Services psychiatric team. Last question before I attempt self-amputation of the head. Can you advise how to solve my case of minor severe heroin addiction? I think your actions preceding that will end up solving your initial problem, Ryback. My daughter is throwing up live fish. You're my last hope. I had someone come into my clinic probably about 3 days ago now that were throwing up live fish. And what it is they've eaten some undercooked fish or sushi in the past, and the fish has grown in their stomach. It's grown in their stomach, and it's glug-glugged all around in there. It's glug-glugged and blub-blubbed all around in there. And they're coming out the mouth because that's the only place they can come out. That's the issue there, okay, guys? The only thing I can suggest is swallowing a cat to eat the fish. But then there was that nursery rhyme about that, and then you have to swallow a dog and a horse. So I would just sort of advise of saying your last goodbyes now before it gets awkward. What do I amputate if only the upper torso is left? Thanks, Austin, that's a good question. The upper torso. I left my family doctor for you. This guy's the best doctor I've ever been to. Congrats on the success, Dr. Danny. Thank you very much, RJ. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Backstreet Medical Services. We just want to do what's best for you guys, okay? Want to do what's best for you guys. My parents refused to tell me. But where do babies come from, Dr. Danny? They come from lots of places. Statistically, if you just look at purely the statistics, the most babies come from India or China. How much is a usual visit to the amputation going to cost? It depends on what you get done. It really depends what you get done. There's no usual cost because there's anything from I want a fourth arm all the way down to can you make my nose look like a dog's nose? And those things are I guess wildly different in cost. They can range from anything from £4 to you're going all the way up to £20 there as well. I'm addicted to Minecraft and it's beautiful. Please don't help. To say, well, I won't help then, Dead Dog, but we do have the Backstreet addiction clinic. As I've said, well, we'll throw in a room for 3 months, and not give you food and water until you forget about it. Gotta go, Chief. Thanks for medical advice. You're the most professional doctor I know, and I know many. Thank you very much, Ace. I really appreciate you popping in and showing your support. Equinox ASMR. What do I do to cure vision loss? A lot of people use stupid things like these, which we refer to in the medical profession as glasses. I don't mean to get technical. Really the best thing to do is stare into the sun. The sun provides excellent curative and healing power, I should say. So if you stare into the sun long enough, all your problems will disappear. My friend doubts that you always should amputate. What should I do to convince him? We teach, when I do the Backstreet Medical Services courses I take to schools, we teach when in doubt show. So if they say, I shouldn't amputate them. Okay? Take an arm off, take a hand off, take a finger off. And then they'll see the importance of it. Thanks for the question. Now my daughter is choking on my dog. Can I get a discount on a head dog leg amputation combo? Absolutely. If you pop down to the Backstreet Medical Services amputation clinic, my furs, all you need to do is show them the special code head dog, head dog, head dog, and they'll give you a 20% discount. The Rollback. Night, Chief. Cheers to the advice and last. Thank you very much, the Rollback. I appreciate your support there. That money you've given me there will go partly towards feeding the hundreds of dogs we have trapped in the garage. Eli Foster, help! I am blind. I'm very sorry to hear that. Blindness, it's complicated. The Backstreet Medical Services are trying to make blindness, in a sense, the new norm. Because if you get rid of, I suppose, the need for sight, the world becomes a lot less complicated. Can you make all my toes big toes if I bring 8 other toes from various sources, even if they're all shapes and colours? Yes, I can. Do you perform hair transplants? If so, I'd like a permanent 2004 David Beckham haircut. Thank you, Tingle Tingles. We can do that. The Backstreet Medical Services Amputation and Hair Transplant Clinic will very happily help you with that. You're looking at probably about £3 or £4 for that one, but we'd be more than happy to help. I recently purchased a PlayStation VR. Is virtual reality harmful to the eyes? No, it's not. Well, I say no, it's not. It's only slightly harmful. But I guess if it starts to just stare into the sun, and it'll feel better. What are your hours? The Backstreet Medical Services, it's an odd. We don't have set office hours, really. It's more of a call by call basis. Can you take all my fingers and put them on my head like a rooster? That's a fantastic. I mean, Eli Foster, good work. We can do that. Yes, we'd love to do that. Have there been any fatalists at the clinic? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to presume you mean fatalities, as I'm not sure what a fatalist is. So I'm just going to. Again, for legal purposes, my lawyer's advised I don't answer questions like that. Also, I took some invisibility pills, and it's been 1 month since I've been back. Help. Do you want help being invisible again, or are you still invisible and you want to be seen again? For the clarification. Do you provide hair transplantation? Yes, we do. At the minute, the 2004 David Beckham haircut is very popular. They'll appreciate you coming in and asking that. Can you make me the clinic? Like, turn me into an entire building? If you bring us the bricks and building material for that, we would love to do that. We've had a couple of people transform into things such as high-rise buildings and basements, so I'm sure that wouldn't be impossible. My friend can't speak English, but a tongue transplant, absolutely. A tongue transplant would be vital for such things, and we'd really encourage a tongue transplant, actually. Even if you like your tongue, get a new one. You never know what it might be able to do. Eli Foster, I want to be building too. Go ahead. I recently saw HBO's Chernobyl. What's the cure for nuclear radiation poisoning? There's a lot of debate in the medical community about nuclear radiation poisoning and how you go about solving that. But at the minute, we just advise a really banana-heavy diet. Alright, boys. Hello, Tom. Can you cure dyslexia? Because it's a pain in the ass. Again, alongside blindness, Backstreet Medical Services believe that dyslexia should be the norm, and that everyone who doesn't have dyslexia is wrong. Help, my wife and children have left me. Should have got my money and left me with crippling MDMA addiction. What can you do for me? As with how our addiction works, we can shove you in the addiction clinic, which is no food and water for 3 months. Or, maybe, if you're not feeling that, the way we do it with there, is give you so much MDMA, you're sick of it. My friend has trouble seeing. Could they get a glasses transplant? They could. We don't usually dabble in glasses transplants. But I suppose they could do, but that is quite an extreme medical procedure. Still invisible, haven't turned back to a visible human in a month. I'm very sorry to hear that, Equinox ASMR. At the minute, the only cure we have, whilst we develop a proper cure, is covering you in flour all the time, so people can at least sort of see where you are. Woo, another live stream, Hayley. Thank you for coming along, Hayley. Lead-infused tea is the best cure for radiation. Everyone knows that. You can go for lead-infused tea, absolutely. I personally, I don't like the taste of lead. What makes certain hands are wrong, not wrong? Now that's a very important question. Thank you very much, Liam, for bringing that up. This was mentioned in the upper neurological limb examination video that I uploaded. You have a gut feeling when you see a hand, you'll go, see, this hand's right, for example. These both, I'm quite lucky, both of my hands are right. But you'll see someone and you go, that hand's wrong. You'll see someone. It's where the old expression they used to use in the 90s, wrong hand Jim. That expression is used quite a lot. He's a wrong hand Jim. What's that wrong hand Jim doing over there? That's where it came from. Someone saw a hand, I thought, wrong. That's kind of as in depth as medically exists. Me and the boys are on the way to Danny Dossall's Backstreet Clinic with the construction materials to turn into Danny Dossall Backstreet Clinic. Fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. I wish you all the best of luck. Please send me a picture on Twitter with the when you are the clinics, with the hashtag Backstreet Medical Services, and I'd love to see. 2 right hands. By that I mean my hands aren't wrong. I've got a left hand and a right hand. What should I do if I don't feel my arms and legs but are still able to move them properly? That's an interesting question. That could be a symptom of cardiovascular pain or heart or chest pain. But what's more than likely is your tonsils are playing up. Your tonsils are probably playing up. So go to a doctor just to make sure your tonsils are healthy, because you've got to take care of our tonsils. Very good answer. I aspire to have as much knowledge as you. Thank you very much, Liam. I appreciate that a lot. And you can have as much knowledge as me, Liam. You really can. If you go to dannydossall.com/free PhD, you can print off your own Backstreet Medical Services PhD and hang it on your wall and truly be a professional. I'm not joking. I made that website. It exists. My friend has a fever and his body temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. Is this normal? I'm afraid I'm unaware of freedom units. Backstreet Medical Services, we only operate in the UK services. So it might be. I'm not sure. What's the most suitable alcoholic beverage for blood transplants? We suggest something, a lean line. Vodka with a splash of tonic. Vodka with a splash of tonic. That usually goes through the body the best. How much blood shall I donate? Is it safe to donate? Oh, you can absolutely, if you want to donate all your blood, you absolutely can do so and should be able to do so. Your body will only make more. Why is Britain getting amputated from Europe? I'm struggling, please help. That's a really tough thing. Even Backstreet Medical Services, we don't have the answers to that, I'm afraid. I would like to be the clinic's door. I'd make a nice doorbell sound, and a doorknob transplant has always been my dream. Thank you, my fuzz. If you speak to our clinicians there, I'm sure they can make your dream come true. What do you recommend I do for anxiety, Dr. Danny? One of the cures we have for anxiety is coffee. Drink lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of coffee. And keep drinking coffee until all your problems just turn into vibrations and you can't do anything but scream. Does tonic wine have medicinal properties? Yes. Good question, Jake. Booth says, someone stole my tonsils. I'm very sorry to hear that. Tonsil theft is a very serious issue, and the tonsils, as you guys know, have been listening for a while and paying attention, are very important. Tonsils are the most important organ. So if someone has stolen the tonsils, I advise tracking them down and hurting them. Do you have any tips on training my sixth sense? I had a cranial nerve exam at your clinic and didn't do too well on the sixth sense test. Yeah, the sixth sense it's a very odd test. There's not really too much we know about it. We're still investigating it. So we'll get back to you on that one maybe at a future live stream. My fingers are falling off and I'm struggling to type. What should I do? Use your nose. We find that you can always type with your nose. If you gave birth to a plate of hot spaghetti and the doctor started to eat it, well, that's very natural. Hot spaghetti is a delicious meal, especially if it's a bolognese with nice nodes of garlic. What are you going to do? You're tired from giving birth. You won't have time to eat it, and the doctor probably isn't getting paid enough. Thanks for the question, Hayley. Should we really put the patient to sleep before the surgery? Again, a conscientious point. We always aim to do so when they're naturally asleep for that natural feel. Do you have any experience delivering babies? What's the oldest child you've ever seen being born? We had a child. Me personally, I don't go anywhere near the maternity wards. Women terrify me, and I scream when I see one. But the oldest baby I've heard of being born was 35 years old. Jonathan, if anyone wishing to pick up a free PhD, please visit dannydossall.com/free PhD and make sure to print it off, take a lovely picture, and let us know on my Twitter and Instagram. And the hashtag, well, he's right, hashtag Backstreet. We can do hashtag Backstreet, hashtag B.M.S, whatever. Just tag me in it. I'd love to see. Thank you very much for that, Jonathan. I appreciate you helping us out there. Very much appreciate it. What would you prescribe for a broken heart? Mainly duct tape. We would suggest duct tape, some cardiovascular duct tape. We'll open you up an open heart surgery and really wrap it up nice and tight so you don't go into cardiac arrest. I don't like coffee. Can I use energy drink substitutes? I'm afraid not. It has to be coffee. Energy drink substitutes only make the anxiety worse, whereas coffee makes it vibrate. My friend tells me that I can fix my lungs by smoking and drinking a lot. Is this true? Absolutely. If you drink so much, if you drink a ridiculous amount, then, your problems become solutions. John's right. Hashtag Backstreet Medical Services. Exactly right. I'm thinking that it should be easier. We should probably do hashtag B.M.S, but it doesn't matter. Just tag me in it at Danny.ASMR, and I'll see it, or message me and say, look what I've done. I appreciate John doing that. He's maybe realised I should probably make an actual hashtag, so I appreciate that. But for now, just message me or tag me in it if you print the certificate off. I drank a gallon of 24-hour energy drinks, and either my heart has stopped or it's going so fast I can't feel it. What do I do? That's when you invest in one of these. Invest in one of these and connect it up to some form of a microphone. I'm just going to put my microphone. We had a patient come in who made EDM music and had a very similar predicament. And he recorded some very fast-paced EDM music using his heartbeat. I think he got to number 2 in the charts in Slovenia. If apples keep doctors away, do you have any fruit that will attract doctors? It's a very good question. Doctors were terrified of apples. I can't stress enough, don't put apple emojis in the chat because it happened before and I almost screamed and bailed out the window. But we love dragon fruit. Doctors love dragon fruit. It's a little known fact. If you put dragon fruit in front of a doctor, he will have to leave the room because he won't be held accountable for his actions. Do you ever just hug your mum to flex on orphans? No. Is it true that you drink if you drink 10 4-hour energies, you get 40 hours of energy? Yes, 24-hour, 10-hour energy, it stacks indefinitely. Could you perform an abortion on my sister? She's 18. I know, 250 months is a bit late, but pretty please. Again, we've got Backstreet Medical Services Family Care that deal with stuff like that. I'm not really au fait with their methods. I've always questioned why the building is so tall. Are the ads that keep popping up talking about pills that help us lose weight real? I thought you meant on my stream, and I was very confused. What was happening? You mean in general? No, the only real weight loss pills are the Backstreet Medical Services weight loss pills, and those are empty pill cases, and you just have to only have them. Again, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise that at all. I would advise against it. A healthy, balanced diet is preferable, but they are medically proven to work. Just to let you guys know, I'm going to be going because I've got to go into surgery in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to be going in about 3 minutes time when this reaches an hour. Just to let you know, so I'm going to do 3 minutes more of this. If you like this, please give this video a like. Please subscribe. Please check out the links in the description. Thank you. Yo, in neck deep in a rave and I've misplaced my jaw. Can you keep an eye out? It'd probably be easier for you to keep a jaw out because if you get rid of the eye, you won't be able to find the jaw. Talked to this ASMR helpline guy that sounded like you. Again, I get that a lot. I think it must be part of the medical profession. My house burnt down, by the way. Of course, it's a good reference to a video. Fair play. What's the worst patient you have personally had to treat? It was a guy called Terence Lovely. And I shouldn't use his name. I shouldn't use Terence Lovely's name. But it was horrible. He tried to stab me in the throat with his dog. So I had to say no, Terence, stop doing that. Stop doing that. And unfortunately, he ended up dying, which my lawyer advises me to say I had absolutely nothing to do with. What benefits do you get if you eat glass? Can it improve my health? Some glass can. You get nutrient and vitamin infused glass, which would help. Ordinary glass wouldn't. You just die. If I don't want to use pills to lose weight, can I just cut the fat off? Backstreet Medical Services do offer a fat chopping sort of operation. It's meant to be very good. I've heard it's very good. I say I've not had it done myself, obviously. Have you ever brought anyone back to life via a murder, murder surgery or strange luck? Well, as you see on danny.com/BMS, Backstreet Medical Services are the only medical services that are legally licensed to practice resurrection, and we do so often. Prescribe a 12-pack of Bernard Matthews Turkey Dinosaurs. Thank you, Jake Harris. Bernard Matthews Turkey Dinosaurs, again, they're one of the best foods out there. They're fantastic. And I would advise anyone who hasn't had them to have a lot of them, and soon. We'll take 3 more questions, and I'm going to have to go because I've currently got a patient I'm currently lying unconscious, waiting to be operated on. A man offered me a pill in a dark alley and said it was from B.M.S. I've been bleeding from my eyes for 4 days. Those would be our eyes bleeding pills. We sell the bleeding eye pills in case anyone wants bleeding eyes. He probably missold them to you something else, I do apologise, but I'm very glad to know. Do they work? Are zombies real? Zombies, they can be real, in some sense, but usually not in the way that we perceive them. And the last question I'm going to take today is from Liam. How are you today? I'm very well, thank you. Very well. I really appreciate that. We'll take one last one. Gotta go. Oh, thank you very much for the donation. I say any donation here will go towards feeding the hundreds of medical dogs that we keep in the garage for medical testing, and your donations there will ensure they can eat this month. Gotta go. One last question. I'm scared of the dentist. If I bite off his fingers, do I have to pay a fine? Backstreet Medical Services are insured against bites, so you won't. One of our doctors, you won't. In fact, we encourage it because the payout they get is actually quite considerable. But in the sense of a usual dentist, if you decide to go NHS, then you probably will have to. Yes. Well, thank you very much for coming and joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've gained a lot of medical knowledge. As I said, please check out the links. Check out dannydoss.com/BMS, which is the Backstreet Medical Services website, for more information about the company and the work that we do. Thank you very much. I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.